share screen. So if you go to this particular LinkedIn article, right? So what I have done, I will tell you. First of all, we need to understand that we cannot boil the ocean because AI is a ocean. Okay. So by the time we try to learn all the aspects of the AI is also a moving target, right? It is not going to wait for you and me. Market is always a moving needle. So from my experience, there should be a smart way of learning things. Okay. So what I have done is I have categorized it here four major types. Okay. One role called as an AI engineer, AI specialist, AI generalist, and then AI builder. Now, you and me, definitely we are not going to become all the all the four user personas, right? So you need to think through which particular role suits you better, depending on your aptitude, your attitude or mindset, depending on the skills needed for the role. Whatever the skills which comes naturally to you, or whatever the skills which you can learn within the next 3 to 6 months, right? So from that particular perspective, I have given here four roles. One is the AI engineer, AI specialist, AI generalist, and the AI builder. Now, any kind of a JD in the market pertaining to the AI related roles can be put into any of these particular logical buckets. See, we need to understand one thing. AI is not really tightly coupled to a single role. Okay. Data scientist uses AI, business analyst uses AI, agile coaches also use AI, delivery head also use AI. Basically, in fact, CXO, CFO people also use AI. So you need to think through based on where you are currently, what is your envisaged career career trajectory, which particular role suits you better, okay, or rather suits you the best. So if you go through this particular article, see, respecting your years of experience, I'm not going to go through it verbatim now. I'll just give the overall flow. Okay, I just try to cover the the high level colors of the rainbow now. If you go through this, let's go one by one. AI engineer. AI engineer is going to do some kind of a design, development, integrating, and then probably deploying it onto the cloud, right? Kind of a AI product or a AI system. So now we are having these kind of roles. Now you may need to do something like selection by elimination technique. Means what? If you are not good in the coding, then don't aim for this role. Simple. Because sometimes I get calls to my mobile to my phone, and people ping me on WhatsApp asking me what kind of role do I need to choose in AI. I'm getting confused because people are getting lost in the jungle of AI, right? So if you are not good in coding, if coding is not your cup of tea, first of all, eliminate it. Because if you are not good in coding, then it's not that we can learn it and then master coding, right? We need to capitalize on our strength rather than focusing on the improvement areas sometimes. So from my perspective, if you are good in coding, yes, probably you can go through this particular roles, look into the JD, look into your current experience, and then see what kind of role resonates with you. So based on this particular AI engineer, right? So probably these are all the emerging roles which are coming up in the market, because whatever roles currently, most likely it will become obsolete after 2 to 3 years for sure. And after 5 years, we are not okay. How does the industry is going to work? We can only speculate or postulate. Postulate. No one can tell with certainty this is how the market will shift. So these are all the roles. Now you need to look into the skills needed. It needs Python, code deployment, vector DB, LLM orchestration, all these capabilities. Now, if you go to know the, just keep actually going through the article. If you go through AI specialist, he or she is a person who has some knowledge on the AI, and you need to pick up one particular domain, right? For example, okay, I'm just giving an example. You have extensive experience in a BFSI or a healthcare or rather manufacturing units. So why don't you become a techno-functional consultant and then capitalize on the AI related roles, right? Specialist means what? Like a cardiologist and neurologist, right? The person has a breadth, but also has a depth in a very particular area in a very deep manner. So you need to think through, okay, instead of becoming a data scientist, can I become a healthcare AI scientist? Means what? Your domain knowledge will try to create a unique selling proposition or a differentiator for you. So I always tell this example on social media platforms. If you are a vanilla, okay, generally people pay more money for casata ice cream rather than a vanilla. Why? Vanilla is a single flavor. Casata ice cream comes with a combinational capabilities. And in market, it is very difficult to find a person who has combinational capabilities. People who are good in technology are unfortunately not good in the domain. People are good in the domain can't even understand the language of a technology. And people who are good in both are not good in AI. People who are good in AI are not good in the agile ways of working. So you need, from my experience, you need to have some combinational capabilities, but to what extent the weightage points will shift, that particular thing need to come from the JD and your resume. Okay, I'm just giving you, see, I am trying to play the role of an improvement enabler, like, in this particular webinar. So if you go through these roles, it will, see, for example, one more role which is picking up in the market is AI governance, because the flip side or the flop side of the AI is you still have the governance part of it. So if you are very good in audit or governance kind of a thing, or a PMO and a governance kind of a thing, why don't you choose your career as a responsible AI or something called as a AI governance? So these are all some of the diversification of roles what we see in the market. So you need to think through which particular thing suits you better. Don't take some role just because your cousin brother had did it, or some of your colleagues have did it, or someone of you, like in your contact circle, would have done it. His capability, her capability would be different. What suits for you, you may need to go through it, right? So based on that, I have put some pointers over here. Now, if you go to these roles like AI generalist, right? See, for example, right? Currently on weekends, I'm actually taking some coaching and mentoring for a AI product manager. Why? Because I typically come from a enterprise agile coaching. I have coached product managers, product owners, business analysts for a lot of years. And I myself have worked as a product manager in a company called PayPal for some couple of years in the past. So I have that the product manager experience plus the capability to coach the product owners and the product managers. Now I am putting AI as a cherry on the cake. So you may need to think through, you should not dilute your current experience, because the experience what you have earned now is a hard earned one, right? It's not that money alone is hard earned. Time and effort and your experience is hard earned. You should not waste it. On top of your experience, how I can plug AI as a cherry on the cake. Like that, if you think through, probably it would suit you better. Let me do one thing. Let me just take a 1 second, wait. Let me just take a quick pause. Are we okay with the flow of the webinar till now? Can you give me a thumbs up if you are okay? I just want to check the pulse. Okay, super. Because I am not a guy who actually waste time by going through something else which will not make relevant to you people. I actually, get into the crux exactly. Okay, okay, good.
Can we ask some questions at this stage?
Srini, let me just complete this, Srini. I will be giving some logical past time. At the time, we can exchange our thoughts. And in the meantime, you can put your question in the chat. So once we come back to the chat, I will pick it up for sure, one by one. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, if you go through this particular thing, right, AI generalist, in this particular thing, you have some roles like AI product manager, AI business analyst, AI program manager, for example. So the way we need to think is, if you are a product owner or a product manager, you may need to think, in my office work currently, how I can infuse AI. See, let me tell you one pragmatic reality. There are people on YouTube who are saying that you have this 100 tools or top 50 tools in the AI world. Perfect. What they are saying is absolutely correct. But you actually tell me, guys, can you install all those 50 tools or 80 tools in your official laptop? Absolutely no, right? A 9 rupees webinar is something different from an office work, right? In the webinar, people may show you some 15 tools, 16 tools. That's fine. You can also take a paid version, but you cannot just like that install those tools on your office laptop to do your office work, right? Of course, you can use it to do your personal work, which I never deny. So all that I'm trying to say is sometimes social media may also slightly give us, not slightly try to take us in a wrong direction. You doing some certification course in AI, you learning some tools in the AI is perfectly fine. But where is the platform for you to demonstrate your capabilities in your office work? Because myself and my team face this challenge day in day out, okay, because I'm currently heading the enterprise AI COE. I know the pain point of it. To have a tool license and the tokens for it, there's a lengthy process. All these things we need to do. It's not that I go to Google and then install a tool and then run the show, right? Basically it's not like that. And most of the client sensitive data, you cannot expose it to the public cloud. You will be losing the job, right? So in an if I want to put it in this manner, in an attempt to jump high, you will be falling down from the present level if you do all these things. So we need to be very diligent and meticulously careful. So what I'm trying to say is, if you go here, spend some time on this article even after the webinar, and then try to see which particular role suits you. Now if you come to AI builder, AI builder is okay. From my experience, I will tell, AI builder is a role which is more higher than a AI engineer. You need to know how to build a AI agent. AI, building an AI agent may not be a complex task, but integrating multiple AI agents or a multi agent orchestration, that is not a easy work, right? So if you are in AI engineer, maybe after 2 years, 3 years, you can go to this level of a AI builder. So every role has its own pros and cons. Okay, I have just given my thoughts here, and here if you see, I have compared it like this. So whenever someone asks you to compare anything, ask them back. Comparison in terms of what parameters? You need to know crystal clear. These are the 10 parameters, A, B, C, D, E. Then you go for comparison. Comparison doesn't make sense if we are not very clear with the criteria or attribute to be compared, right? First, list down the criteria. Here, the criteria are technical depth, whether it is coding needed, what is the salary potential, what is the ease of entry. Just like that, you cannot become an AI builder, right? You need to do the homework. See, preparing a resume is a 15 minutes job. If you give to ChatGPT or any other Claude or whatever, it will give. But preparing yourself for the interview, believe me, minimum 6 months. It's not a weekend activity like CSM, PSM certification classes. Absolutely no. It will take 6 months, because in the interview, they will give you real-time use cases. They will ask you follow-up questions till the leaf node of the tree. And gone are the days people are asking. In fact, they will, for roles like a data scientist in companies like a Walmart and other companies, they will give you an assignment and they will tell you to do and show. Okay, build me the ETL pipeline, or actually do a, okay, use the algorithm and then do the regression, or the random forest or clustering or DB scan or whatever it is, do it and then show. So preparation will take 6 months minimum, I'm saying. Okay, so these are all the things what you need to keep in the mind. Now let me slowly shift the gear back to the PPT. Okay, Srini, let me take a pause here. You want to ask some question, right? You can go ahead.